So, if anyone wasn't aware of this yet, but I mean, everybody knows LA is burning down.
Good evening and welcome. I've covered wildfires in California since the earliest days of my career, and I don't remember anything quite like the firestorms raging across Southern California tonight.
That is fair. I mean, California has always been burning down, to be honest, but this is the first time a city, like a major city, has been affected. I mean, you have San Francisco getting burned down back like when, like 50 years ago, something like that. But a modern fire, it just seems so ridiculous, especially with the technology we have nowadays. Like, how is this even possible?
Multiple major infernos destroying more than 1,000 homes and businesses.
Holy 1,000 structures destroyed?
Killing at least 5 people and defying efforts to contain them. Firefighters in Pacific Palisades outmanned and in some cases out of water. Hydrants running dry. Firefighting aircraft for a
How, okay, I don't particularly know how fire hydrants work. However, the fact that you can run out of water from a fire hydrant is I didn't even know that was a possibility.
time grounded by ferocious winds, some gusting around 100 miles per hour. Rows of homes and restaurants along the Pacific Coast Highway were consumed by the flames. This is what it looked and sounded like.
For for any person that because I know there are people out there who wish for an apocalyptic type of scenario to occur just for them to, I don't know, go full anarchist. I'm surprised I haven't heard about any news about crackheads, taking over the streets or like racing and well during the, I don't know, or probably not racing since the streets are like congested with a bunch of abandoned cars. But I'm just saying, like, like in the internet, there's so many people who keep saying, "Oh, if it was an apocalyptic scenario, I'd be so down to, I don't know, uh, all men for themselves, type of stuff." I'm just surprised I haven't heard about any crackheads doing anything absolutely stupid. Jesus.
Almost haunting, the Pacific Palisades fire growing to nearly 16,000 acres. 40 miles away, the Eaton fire turned deadly and has exploded to over 10,000 acres. Tonight, thousands.
This is the first fire that actually seems like an accident. And I'm not being sarcastic when I say that, because most fires, they don't. I mean, they're wildfires and they seem to be contained, so it doesn't even they don't even feel like actual um accidents. But this is crazy.
In the region are under evacuation orders, filling shelters. Schools are closed while power.
Oh, wait. Oh my goodness. Like you could see you have Beverly Hills over here. Hollywood sign. Yeah, of course this area would be fine. I mean, Malibu and Santa Monica, like all this area is a nice area, so, you know, but I just find it's just kind of sad, bro. I mean, at least Beverly Hills and Hollywood and LAX are fine, right?
Power is out for 1.5 million Southern Californians. Gotti Schwartz is in the fire zone to start our coverage.
1.5 million people without electricity. I'm guessing, I mean, there's no way that 1.5 million people got displaced by this, right? Because I mean, bro, housing is already so scarce here in California. And now you have so many buildings being burned down to the ground, absolutely becoming like just being obliterated, and you getting people getting displaced. Where are those people gonna go? Are the insurance companies going to finally pay up? Are the rents gonna spike up again? Are the housing prices gonna spike up again? W- what are the now I'm starting to realize there are greater ramifications for these fires than you might even seem to be.
This area of Altadena has become an absolute wasteland. You've got rows and rows of homes that have burned. You've got some homes that are still standing, but it's just a matter of time.
Can a journalist even be in such a scenario? Like, bro, there's literally fire right there. Unless it's fake, but I doubt it. What?
You've got some homes that are still standing, but it's just a matter of time.
This was the moment the sun rose over the fire raging above Pasadena, but you'd never know it because the dawn disappeared in the smoke.
Again, you hear the...
You know, there's been images of Tijuana, basically Mexico, and people over there just taking pictures of the sky and basically a black smoke, like, like covering the sky, going their direction. The fact that the smoke can reach that far south it's just insane.
those explosions. So many of these homes, there is no hope.
But against the odds in Mother Nature, some stayed doing everything they could to fight back.
There are people still here.
Bro, what?
Nature, some stayed doing everything they could to fight.
Bro, what are you doing? You're water you're watering a tree. I mean, it's a pine tree, so I don't know. Maybe it might not. Are pine trees as like inflammable as other trees? I know they're from the north. They're from like the colder areas. Wait, why are there pine trees in LA? What? Anyway, bro, I don't know.
Fight back.
There are people still here trying to fight this fire with garden hoses. There is still water in this area, but
Bro, look around you. You're really trying to fight that? You're gonna die of asphyxiation before you can even. Wait, there's there's literally fire. Oh my goodness, bro.
fire with garden hoses. There is still water in this area, but with this much destruction, it almost seems futile. You would hear.
No, no shit, man. It seems futile. It is. It is futile. You can't even see 100 meters in front of you.
You're fighting by yourself, right?
Yes.
How long have you been out here?
I've been out here since 4 a.m.
4 a.m. trying to
Yes.
protect your home.
Yes.
You now have a full, contingent of firefighters here.
Yes.
It seems like it's right in the nick of time. But
They saved this home for now.
That's actually crazy, though. That's crazy. He actually said, wait. Okay, never mind. Credit what credit's due.
A scene that played out across so many fire lines, from the foothills of the Angeles Mountains to the Palisades.
Bro, what?
and then trying to make entrance. They're smashing down that door. They got to go inside. They got to make sure no one is here.
Who else is left in the house? Right. Yeah.
Homeowners on rooftops trying to wet down everything.
Here they come! They're gonna help you!
It's hard to show the scope of
No, bro, I don't think they're gonna help you. They're gonna get you the hell out of there.
what's going on.
As we headed down Sunset Boulevard, the loss was worse than any fire we've ever seen.
I can agree. I can definitely see that.
And this looks like the apocalypse here.
In the chaos, way too often, firefighters left without water as hydrants went dry.
They are not designed to fight wildfires.
He was about to say that they're not designed to fight fire.
Firefight with multiple fire hydrants drawing water from the system for several hours is unsustainable.
Okay. Uh, okay, I'm kind of confused. What classifies a wildfire? Oh well, I mean, I guess it's self-explanatory. A wildfire is a fire that is going wild, right? But what I'm saying is, like, the the reason why there's so many fire hydrants and the reason why firefighters exist are like in such a large quantity, or at least should, is because they should be trained to expect the worst case scenario, and this is the worst case scenario.
Officials say they weren't able to fill tanks fast enough, which would have helped with the water pressure. Something NBC's Morgan Chesky saw firsthand.
Out of every fire hydrant you've seen, what have you found?
Right now, we're finding most of them are down or low pressure.
If you had a hydrant for this building,
If we had a hydrant for this building, we might have been able to save the back out.
This apartment complex is untouched for now, but you can see how close those flames are. Firefighters are making their way up. Again, they're having to ignore massive structures like this huge apartment complex. It looks like it's going to go up imminently because they are just overwhelmed. There isn't enough water up here.
The winds also grounding that critical support from the sky for most of the day. And when firefighters were able to make a stand and save a home, there was no victory.
I see this and I'm just thinking to myself, like, how did it get this bad? How? I saw that building over there and like bro, here in this scenario, you can see this building. I I don't think it's I don't think buildings are made to be flammable nowadays. So what I'm thinking is, and you can still see the sky a little bit here. So this area isn't as bad as like the other areas he was at. But what I'm thinking is, how can you like did we not learn anything from the San Francisco burning? I'm confused.
And when firefighters were able to make a stand and save a home, there was no victory. Just a brief reprieve from the helplessness of fighting fire against the wind.
Gadi, I feel like you really took us into what it is like there. This devastation goes well beyond the homes destroyed in Pacific Palisades.
Yeah, well beyond the homes. The scope of this is so difficult to comprehend. We've seen schools, we have seen synagogues, we've seen churches here along the Palisades. This is the heart of the Palisades. You've got a restaurant, down to the banks here in the Palisades have been reduced to ash. And unfortunately, we've been in the neighborhoods above, below, and to each side of the heart of the Palisades.
I'm gonna be real. This is a little bit off topic, but being a journalist must be fun for these kinds of scenarios because you get to explore places that other people pretty much don't get access to. You get to see the aftermath and see everything that's going on during, before, during, and even after. So that must be nice. That must be nice. And this guy seems to be very enthusiastic about his job. I mean, going into the like there were literal flames around him, bro. It's impressive. So, cheers.
And so far, they're saying about 1,000. That's a preliminary number, 1,000 structures lost. We can tell you that number is going to climb significantly. Lester?
All right, Gadi, thank you. Until today, it was hard to imagine destruction on this scale. Today, our Liz Croyt saw some of the worst of it.
A massive and deadly wildfire emergency is unfolding in Southern California. From the Pacific Palisades to Pasadena, multiple infernos continuing mass destruction of homes and businesses. Tens of thousands forced to evacuate.
Last night was one of the most devastating and terrifying nights that we've seen in any part of our city at any part of.
You can tell they're so scared.
Of our history.
On the coast, the Palisades fire exploding to more than 15,000 acres. 75-mile-per-hour winds overnight, pushing the flames up the Pacific Coast Highway, where it overtook the iconic city of Malibu and created this apocalyptic scene stretching for miles on the California coast.
We're watching multiple beachfront properties here just go up in flames. First responders trying to get a hold of the fires. All the neighboring properties here destroyed as the winds are picking up.
In the Pacific Palisades, officials say at least 1,000 structures lost. Across Southern California, high winds and protected power shutoffs have left more than 1 million people in the dark. At the Eaton fire burning in Altadena, 45 minutes from the coast.
I've heard about the electrical infrastructure being complete garbage. Like, man, like I bet they never accounted for something like this to ever happen. Last time there was a massive light, I got the lights went out. It was up in San Francisco. Um, some dudes they just I forgot what they did it to the power lines. They get like like the one of the power stations. I think they did something and it broke down and a lot of people lost electricity for like a few hours. I think it was like a day. But this, I'm eager to know how long they're gonna take to fix this.
At least 5 people have died and more than 100 structures destroyed. As wind-whipped embers expanded the fire's path, it forced the evacuation of this assisted living facility.
You'll see the people on stretchers and just the effort, very rapid effort to try to get these people out of harm's way.
For many, the race to get out was by any means necessary.
Which is your
I wonder how expensive all this operation truly is. And I wonder who's gonna pay for it.
House. Yeah, this is our house. Backyard's on fire. I'm out of here.
Some of the most expensive real estate in the world reduced to rubble on Pacific Coast Highway.
Here on PCH, home after home after home of beachfront properties are destroyed. Usually you would see the Pacific Ocean there. Now it's just ashes and smoke.
As fires still burn, officials urging residents not to ignore evacuation orders.
A high number of significant injuries to residents who did not evacuate, in addition to first responders who were on the fire line.
Today, President Biden meeting with local officials, including Governor Gavin Newsom, who toured the destruction.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
The closest approximation was Paradise, California, which is one of the most deadly fires in U.S. history. But at this stage,
Bro, really? Oh my goodness. He really be recording. What is this? He's gonna post it on Instagram.
a little over 24 hours, nothing comes close.
Tonight, thousands displaced with the flames still threatening homes.
This is the garage.
In Malibu, Steve Wiggins says he tried everything to save his.
So I kept spraying all the embers.
Bro, imagine the people that bought homes in LA like 50 years ago and that were now retired and their homes were worth like billions of dollars. Like, see that joke about boomers buying homes for pennies and then now they're millionaires because their home is worth that much? My question is, what happens to them? Are they now gonna sell their burnt up land for a tenth of the price? Granted, it's probably still like $1 million, but still, was this like it makes you wonder if perhaps this was a strategy to lure them out. I don't know, push them towards Arizona so they can finally retire and rebuild this area of LA towards, I don't know, more business friendly.
And then the next thing I know, a 30-foot wall of fire was coming at 60 miles an hour, and I couldn't see, and it was so smoky, and I said, well, it's time to leave.
He came back today to find nothing.
We lost everything we owned, but it doesn't even look like a house anymore. It just looks like a something.
That's actually, because I know a lot of people, their whole life savings is their house. That's basically where they store their entire wealth. So And even if it went up in value, seeing it go literally up in smoke is just
A lot of heartbreak. Liz, the fire threat still very active tonight.
It really is, Lester. In fact, here in Malibu, you can see these crews continuing to work here as they try to put out the flames that are beginning to consume this home here on the coast. Millions across L.A. are on alert right now, with some evacuation orders even issued in Santa Monica with red flag warnings.
Isn't that like the perfect position to just like blast a bunch of toxic gas in there and kill the fire? There's no need to use water. You could just, because if it seems like the fire is in a decently closed space.
Warnings continuing through at least Friday, Lester.
All right, Liz Kreutz, thanks. We want to give you a lay of the land now as to where all this is happening and look at why resources may be so stretched. Los Angeles County is the most populous county in the nation, with major urban centers, sparkling beach communities, and rugged mountains. Pacific Palisades, where the first fire broke out yesterday, sits on the coast, Malibu to its north, iconic Santa Monica to its south. Moving inland 25 miles to the north and east of the Palisades is the Sylmar area.
How can different places burn like this? They're not even connected.
That's where the Hearst fire is burning. And then another 25 miles southeast from there is Altadena, near Pasadena, where the deadly Eaton fire is raging tonight and where we find our Steve Patterson. Steve, good evening.
Lester, the air quality here has been miserable for now more than 24 hours. You can feel it. And when the smoke bill is like this, it travels for miles. Area hospitals now filling up due to smoke inhalation, with experts saying the best thing you can do is to stay inside. And even then, if you have an air purifier, use one. If you have to be out in this, wet rags and surgical masks will not work. You need an N95 with a purifier.
Did this guy just say that the authorities are telling people to stay inside and use an air purifier? I mean, I understand that like in this area, in this particular area where he's at, the fire isn't really that bad. But if you see flames going crazy, are you really gonna stay in your house? That's only someone insane would do that.
Today, the air quality index, or AQI, reached more than 300. That's hazardous to everyone, not just the most at-risk groups. Lester?
All right, thanks, Steve Patterson. Our colleagues at our NBC station in Los Angeles, KNBC, have been working nonstop for more than 24 hours covering this disaster. Their deep connection to those communities reflected in so much of their coverage, including this moment when reporter Michelle Valles was on the air as neighbors battled flames consuming the home next door.
This home next to it was on fire, and they were making gains here. They were making gains, and then all of a sudden the winds picked up. And you can just see how it's fueling the fire next door as these neighbors desperately try to keep their home from catching fire. So you're just helpless as you watch these people doing probably, you put yourself in their situation, and it's really dark, and it's really fiery here. There's a lot of explosions.
Having a deep understanding of how fire works might actually be necessary now that I think about it.
And there's just no help in sight, and you're just wondering when this is all going to end. Riverside County, please stop. Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Praise the Lord. I mean, they're going to really douse this fire here.
An amazing television moment, and certainly an amazing moment of humanity. Let me bring in Al Roker now. Al, what are the conditions that help fuel these fires? Is there any sense and sign of relief?
There is some relief coming, Lester. We saw those air flights resume because the winds have died down. The biggest problem is since October 1st, they've gotten less than 10% of their average rainfall. The good news is this high pressure, low pressure combo that has been squeezing these Santa Ana winds out. That's been the problem. Well, now they're starting to move to the east. and separate, so the winds are starting to die down. That's good news. In fact, you can see those winds overnight coming down, the gusts into single digits in some spots. Now, the next thing we're worried about, that storm system in the southwest, that's going to cause 52 million people to be under winter storm warnings, advisories.
I don't understand how can one side of the US be burning like hell and the other side be freezing to death. Especially like
these watches,
especially the South. The South is always hot. Where is this ice coming from?
Snowfall amounts, Dallas 2 to 5, 3 to 6 in Tupelo, plus icing conditions stretching from Texas all the way into the southeast. Big travel problems over the next 24 hours.
Ice accumulation. Bro, that's all the way down to the Mexican desert. Ain't no way that there's snow in the desert now.
Okay, Mal, thank you for that update. Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and
So, I guess this is all nonsense. One side of the country is burning up, the other side of the country is freezing up. Like, oh my goodness. This makes no sense. I don't know what to say. I just I don't know. I feel like I should say something, but I'm just screw this. The world is just this year. How many days has it been so far? We are on the 8th. Not even 10 days have been of 2025. I think we're cooked.